You're watching Camnet TV, not just another channel. To present the main news, my name is Banda Tandiwe. The headlines. Catholic Church worried with signs of diminishing peace in Zambia. Court orders that a sexual case involving a Lusaka lawyer be heard in open court as complainant seeks no media presence. Zambia's creditors voting to either defer her loans or not as deadline ends today. In our international news, UN urges Mozambique to investigate murder beheadings. And in our sports news, ENOCK MWEPU arrives for ZAMBIA'S Cameroon 2021 Africa Cup qualifier match. Do join me with the details after this break.
Join Pastor Victoria and Moses Chilua, the Healing Word Ministries International.
Starting on the 3rd to 6th December 2020.
Dr. Francis Miles from the USA returns to Zambia for a conference on issuing restraining orders.
Because you see, God responds to your revelation. So if you approach God as the healer, He heals you. If you approach Him as your shepherd, He will touch your soul. But if you approach Him judicially, He will show you He's the cause.
Venue, the Healing Word Ministries International in Ibex Hill. Time,
17 hours to 19 hours from Thursday to Saturday.
And on Sunday from 09 hours to 11 hours. For more details, call +260 962 965 883. You do not want to miss this conference this time.
Pastors Victoria and Moses Chilua, the Healing Word Ministries International, the board and management of Camnet TV would like to wish His Excellence the President of the Great Republic of Zambia a happy and peaceful 64th birthday. May God watch, protect, and richly bless you with many more successful years. Happy birthday to you, sir.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with us. We begin with our stories. Both the Zambian government and the ruling Patriotic Front as a party has expressed worry at the slow pace at which the national voter registration exercise is being conducted. Acting Minister of Information and Broadcasting Services and Chief Government Spokesperson Joyce Nonde Simukoko is further concerned that despite government putting in place modalities to ensure smooth flow of the process, it is still proving to be a challenge. In a statement to Camnet TV News, the minister has urged to implode the ECZ to resolve the challenges and ensure that no one is defranchised from voting. Meanwhile, the ruling Patriotic Front has joined opposition political parties and other players in castigating the electoral body over the prevailing hiccups in the ongoing registration process. Patrick Soko has more in the following report.
The national voter registration exercise has entered day 3 with continuous challenges. The major challenges in some registration stations include the aspect of opening centers late, especially the fact that the process is taking long to complete. As leaders of various political parties participate in the process, they are now appreciating the many issues people have been raising over the exercise. Patriots for Economic Progress leader Sean Tembo is not in place at the snail's pace at which the process is being undertaken. He has since implored the Electoral Commission of Zambia to address all issues raised by different stakeholders if the commission is to meet its targeted number of registered voters.
The turnout is very good. People queue up as early as 06 in the morning at various registration points. However, we do feel that there are certain areas that ECZ can improve on, and one of these areas is to allow the online voter pre-registration process to continue so that most of the voters can capture their details in advance to reduce the time that is spent in the actual registration process. The online voter pre-registration can run hand on hand with the actual registration process. And we are also disappointed with the actions of certain individuals who are intent on disparaging the Electoral Commission of Zambia for no apparent reason. If there are areas that require to be improved upon, I think we need to table those areas in a sober manner than calling the ECZ and its officials all sorts of names.
In the meantime, Movement for Democratic Change leader Felix Mutati notes that the fact that citizens have turned up in numbers is a positive gesture, but that the electoral body needs to make sure that it enhances personnel manning the voter registration centers.
However slow the system is, they are going to be frustrated. Yes, the system is slow. People have been waiting for hours. I've been around for at least a couple of hours. But I think it's that absolute determination. So my call is to ECZ. That one is taking longer than it should be necessary. They need to up the game. They really need to up the game. And the only thing that they need to do is increase the number of human, the personnel. So that instead of having one station here at the polling station, if there could be 2 or 3, and the supporting, infrastructure. I was sitting next to a lady who was here yesterday. The whole day she was not able to register, but she came back today. And for me, that is clear determination. So the core is that if we're going to reach the 9 million estimated voters, we need more hands.
For as long as the ECZ does not quickly attend to these issues, such complaints will continue. Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
Government has responded to the erratic water supply caused by the drying up of Chivila Reservoir Dam in Mumbwa district of Central Province. Speaking when he toured the dam to ascertain the extent of the dam's position, Water Development, Sanitation and Environmental Protection Minister Jonas Chanda has observed that the dam has dried due to human activities around the stream that gives water to the dam. Meanwhile, Dr. Chanda has announced that government has released 3 million kwacha for the improvement of water supply in Mumbwa district. And Mumbwa District Commissioner Pamela Chipongwe says her office will work with the Lukanga Water and Sanitation Company to ensure that the resources are put to good use. More details in the following report.
The call by Mumbwa residents and area member of parliament over the drying up of Chabila Dam has started yielding results. The dam, which services more than 2,000 residents with safe drinking water, has dried up apparently due to human activities. The government, through the Ministry of Water Development, Sanitation and Environmental Protection, has lobbied for funds amounting to 3 million kwacha, which will go towards rectifying the water system. Minister in charge Jonas Chanda disclosed this when he visited the dam on Wednesday morning to appreciate the situation. Dr. Chanda explains that out of the 3 million, 2.4 million kwacha is for rehabilitation of the sealed Chabila Dam, while 600,000 kwacha will go towards the drilling of commercial boreholes in the district.
To be treated as an emergency. So government, through His Excellency President Edgar Lungu, has provided 3 million kwacha to make sure that these works are done. So the 2.4 million kwacha will be for this dam, the rehabilitation of the hole, the dam hole, the embankment, and then digging up all this, excavation, the dredgers, because we want water. And thank God that I can see signs of rain here, so if we can deepen this, then it rains, we should be able to have water. Then the emergency bores, the commercial bores, the other 600,000 has to go there. So what we want to hear, so tomorrow, like I said, by the end of today actually, we need an implementation plan, the timelines, when will this happen, because people here cannot wait, yeah. And like I said, because when a whole town of 3,000 plus, people doesn't have clean and safe water, basically they're all prone to diseases, typhoid, cholera, dysentery, so we don't want a cholera outbreak here.
Meanwhile, Dr. Chanda has directed the Water Resources Management Authority WAMA to be on the ground and provide a comprehensive report on illegal water obstruction on Chabila stream, which has led to the drying up of Chabila Dam.
Act of 2011 is very clear. One, how far a garden should be or human activity should be from a water body, 50 meters. But if I look here, the gardens are reaching up to the very end. So already the WAMA Act has been violated. So in short, I'm telling WAMA to enforce their own act, which is the law. So this is a country of laws, not of people, not of men. So they have to enforce the law. Any garden which is 50 meters and less, it has to be removed, Then number two, this is why obstructing water, because to obstruct water, you have to follow the law. It's WAMA which gives the water permit. So what WAMA needs to do, like I said, they need to come here. I doubt, although I don't want to be the devil's advocate, but I doubt that any normal thinking person can give a water permit from a stream to obstruct from a stream. We don't give permits for streams, otherwise the streams will die. That is why we obstruct water from bigger water bodies, whether it's a huge dam or a lake or a big river, but not a stream like this.
Meanwhile, Lukanga Water and Sanitation Company Managing Director Yoram Sinyangwe said the water utility company will move in with speed to ensure that the works commence.
From the ministry that within 3 to 4 days we should be able to at least get a contractor to deal with that issue almost immediately. Our first option and engagement obviously is water development. We'll try to see if at all they have got the capacity to deal with it. If they can't, then by tomorrow we would have made a decision whether to get a contractor to drill the bores and equip them and push more water into the system. Then the other money is preparation now for the season.
In total, about 11 million euros is required for Mombwa district to have a modern water supply and sanitation treatment plant. For now, the money released will help ease the burden as an immediate measure. Sharon Kalimbula, Camnet News, Mombwa.
Meanwhile, Mumbwa's Central Member of Parliament, Credo Nanjua, who over the weekend sent a passionate appeal to the Ministry of Water and Sanitation to come to the aid of the residents, has commended government for its quick intervention. Mr. Nanjua told the media over the weekend during the tour of the dam in the company of Lukanga Water and Sanitation Company Area Superintendent Joe Kalusa that the situation was a disaster which needed quick government intervention and response. Mr. Nanjua has called for the timely release of the money for the water reticulation in his constituency. Several households are on the edge of water shortages following the drying up of the main dam in the district.
Grateful that the works that we did over the weekend, when we went round checking the water situation in my constituency, Mumba constituency, finally the Honorable Minister of Water and Sanitation, Honorable J. Chanda, has quickly responded by visiting the place, and I'm well informed that he has also committed that government is releasing 3 million towards the dam. We are grateful for that quick response. That's how it's supposed to be, that when we work and ask for the response from government, it is adequately and timely done. That is great work from the Minister of Water and Sanitation. We want also to urge the Minister that Chibila Dam is an old dam which was done immediately after independence or even pre-independence, and it was designed for a smaller population of people. But today Mumbwa constituency is actually, the population has gone up. We are talking of over 200,000 people in Mumbwa constituency. So that dam still is not sustaining. We need a more viable project to be undertaken by government so that the water challenge in Mumbwa is sorted out once and for all.
And in other news stories, Zambia's bond holders on Wednesday, 11th November 2020, expected to decide whether to defer the country's loans or not. In September this year, Zambia asked its international commercial creditors for a 6-month debt deferment due to the serious impact of the coronavirus pandemic. At broadcast time, the creditors were still deliberating on Zambia's request to decide her fate. But according to Bloomberg News and monitored by Camnet TV News, A key bondholder group is set to reject Zambia's request for an interest payment holiday, putting the country on course to become the first African sovereign defaulter since the onset of the coronavirus pandemic. Bloomberg further reports that there is consensus amongst the so-called Zambia External Bondholder Committee to refuse the proposal with a voting deadline of Wednesday ahead of Friday's meeting with creditors, according to two people with direct knowledge of the matter who are asked not to be identified because they are not authorized to speak publicly. Zambia has already missed one coupon payment and will be in default unless it pays by Friday. The IMF warned in 2018 that Zambia was at a high risk of debt distress, and the government continued adding to its external debt, which has increased to $11.9 billion US. It could reach 120% of gross domestic product by year end, the Washington-based lenders forecast show. Meanwhile, the Center for Trade Policy and Development, CPTD, says it will be a sad day for Zambia should the creditors reject its request. CTPD researcher Wakumelo Mata states that Zambia risks defaulting its loans, saying the nation's fate now lies in the bondholders. The center finds it contradictory that whilst the Zambian government has based its request for debt relief on the devastating economic impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic, the latest Auditor General's report reviews serious irregularities in the usage of funds intended to mitigate its impact on the economy. Mr. Mata says government needs to be more serious if its intentions are to be trusted as it engages with our creditors.
The government of the Republic of Zambia, through the Ministry of Finance, is expected to hold the next meetings with our creditors, specifically the bondholders, this coming Friday, the 13th of November 2020. In these meetings, government hopes to secure an approval from the bondholders to agree to a debt service suspension for a period of 6 months in accordance with the terms and conditions of the G20 and the Paris Club Debt Service Suspension Initiative. We as the Center for Trade Policy and Development would like to raise a few expectations on what we feel and think will be the talking points in these meetings. Firstly, we feel it is a considered view that transparency on the part of government will be key in these negotiations. It is our expectation that the bondholders will demand for an equal treatment with the Chinese creditors. This is in view of the fact that China is our major creditor. And so in this vein, we find it progressive that government has reportedly reached an agreement with the China Development Bank to defer debt service in respect to a commercial loan facility.
Traditional leaders from Etejiteji district in Central Province have lamented over rampant illegal land encroachment in the areas. The chiefs, who could not explain who exactly is encroaching, are seeking government's intervention. Leading others chiefs, Senior Chief Kaingu and Chief Chiliani Fule, have told Justice Minister Given Luvinda and the illegal settlers in Mumbwa and Kamwala game management area have become difficult to control due to a court injunction prohibiting the leaders from driving the encroachers away from the area. The traditional leaders have also complained that wild animals have depleted in the two areas, whilst large forest zones have been turned into deserts due to excessive cutting down of trees. Details in this report.
They were in prison because that was context of court. There was no appeal. The case that was taken to High Court. Now, of late, illegal settlers have gone back in Amala GMA as well as Mumbai GMA. And we are very much concerned. Why? Because we have seen our natural resources are being destroyed. And therefore, we have come humbly to you to help us to solve this problem. We feel, from our observation, the settlers who have gone there illegally, Mumbai district and Namala, all the animals have gone. Why? Because of poaching or people who have sent to there illegally. The longer we wait, the more destruction will be done in those areas. Namala Game A and Mumbai Game A.
Our headmen have compromised. We have tried to do some sections to control the incoming people, but no, our hidden have been compromised. They are given 2 animals, 3 animals, and given chunks of land. When we try to intervene as chiefs, we are told there is an injunction in the control. Now here, I have here before me, when we try to do that, a letter was written to the Attorney General signed by taking them back. If this thing is allowed to go further, we shall have not even a single animal. Meaning, even investors like Game Rangers International will start pulling up.
Meanwhile, Justice Minister Given Luvinda has assured the chiefs that government, through line ministries, will study the issue to see how best it can be resolved.
I would also like to say it's a matter of public policy nature. The asset that you're trying to protect is an asset that belongs to the Republic of Zambia. It is an asset that belongs to the whole nation. It's an asset that we have a duty to protect for future generations. Because of that, it is a matter in which government has a great interest. My immediate advice would be that we quickly, Your Royal Highnesses, through the CBNRM, get the involvement of the Ministries of Lands, Ministry of Tourism, and Ministry of Water and Environmental Protection. Now, this is outside the issue of the court process. The issue of the court process you can leave with us to study. Then we can suggest to you what course of action to take.
You're still watching Camnet TV Main News with Banda Tandi, where we do take our set of commercials and return with the details after this break.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962-642-490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
Pastors Victoria and Moses Chilowa, the Healing Word Ministries International, the board and management of Camnet TV, would like to wish His Excellence the President of the Great Republic of Zambia a happy and peaceful 64th birthday. May God watch, protect, and richly bless you with many more successful years. Happy birthday to you, sir.
Join Pastor Victoria and Moses Chilowa, the Healing Word Ministries International.
Starting on the 3rd to 6th December 2020.
Dr. Francis Miles from the USA returns to Zambia for a conference on issuing restraining orders.
Because you see, God responds to your revelation. So if you approach God as the healer, He heals you. If you approach Him as your shepherd, He will touch your soul. But if you approach Him judicially, He will show you He's the cause.
Venue: the Healing Word Ministries International in Ibex Hill. Time:
17 hours to 19 hours from Thursday to Saturday.
And on Sunday from 09 hours to 11 hours. For more details, call +260 962 965 883. You do not want to miss this conference this time.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with us. We continue with our news. Caritas Zambia is worried about the growing trend of illegal manganese mining in Wapula province. Caritas is also concerned with the fact that the illegal miners are engaging school-going children in the exercise. Speaking when he presented the Wapula Mining Nsaka Charter of Demands in Mansa, Caritas Economic and Social Accountability Program Specialist Edmund Kangamungazi is said to this effect, calling on government to formalize the sector. He says government should ensure that there is compliance if the province was to benefit from the manganese mining sector, further calling for the investment in areas of geological education to train miners. And the Wapula Chamber of Commerce and Industry has called for the task force to help regulate issues of illegal manganese mining in the area. Chamber Vice President Sean Mwelwa says it's unfortunate that despite several calls to normalize the illegality in manganese mining, nothing has materialized.
I'm sure you agree with me that the minister came here in Wapula, of course with a able administrative leadership here in the province. And when you saw the minister coming, it's not really it was not by accident that the minister came. It's because of meetings after meetings. And we suggested and would like to urge Caritas or whoever is involved in this Nsaka to make sure that we try to reinforce that which we have already have.
So how do we actually deal with issues of child labor? Because it's increasing actually and should be a concern to all of us. We talk about the children are the future leaders. So if we are letting the children actually go into these particular mining companies and actually being the labor, providing that labor, we are actually removing that, we're denying the children that growth that they're supposed to be having. They're not going to school because now we're telling them go and mine. And these are future leaders. The fifth problem that we looked at was non-compliance of statutory taxation and resource sharing. It's good that ZRI is in. We have a lot of mining licenses in Wapula, but one would ask, how much are we getting from these mining companies? How much tax are we actually getting? It's almost zero. You ask the council itself, they're supposed to be getting levies, how much are you getting? Again, it's almost zero. Then what's the benefit of us actually giving these mining licenses?
And in other news stories, President Edgar Lungu has assured chiefs in Luno district of Central Province that his government is committed to addressing the challenges they are facing. The head of state, who is currently on a tour in Central Province, says it's his government's vision to ensure that it delivers development to all corners of the country. And the chiefs, who included Senior Chief Mboromo, Chief Kayesha and Chief Kaundula, Chief Tembe, Chief Mbosha and Chief Chikupili, have a pledge to continue working with the government of the day.
State House, the Parliament, abantu kuje kuweka kwenye cha kuidala kuno mkushi ubose kwa matuombele pa mutwafirishe bakanabesa tukulira mayando mokigara kandi ngo kitakari kata bashani no mana mutu tutadama tuba wonse mwashiro butekwe mirimo yakukura mayanda kare yali n'inchito Yesu fwe bana bamumisha.
On behalf of myself and all their royal present, we are so grateful that you have taken time off your very busy schedule to come and visit us for the third time since 2019. For the third time since 2019. This shows how much you care for the people on the social cash transfer. On this we really appreciate your coming workplace. Excellency, we are also grateful for the crop marketing season of 2020. Helping us with transport suitable for our terrain here in one of the districts. We are also asking that expedite the construction of bridges in our districts to enable people to cross rivers safely This includes Lusakha and Shipaba, bridges which were supposed to have been completed by 2015 by Chad.
President of the Zambia Conference of Catholic Bishops, ZCCB, Reverend George Lungu, has lamented that some political trends in the country today are worrisome, and if left unchecked, may force the country to sacrifice its treasured peace. Bishop Lungu says it is not good for Zambians to sacrifice the treasured peace at the altar of the expedience, and with obvious results of continued discord and lack of progress in the pursuit for common good. The ZCCB president further says that the church may take pride as a voice of the voiceless, the conscience of the country, yet if the voice of the church at certain critical times goes silent for whatever reason, that is failure on its mission. He noted that the church must remain true to its identity as ambassadors of Christ and effective promoters and mediators of peace. Bishop Lungu said this when he opened a two-day ZCCB peace-building workshop in Lusaka on Wednesday, 11th November 2020, under the theme Towards a Peaceful Zambia, the Roar of the Church.
Some trends in Zambia today, I must admit, are worrisome, and if left unchecked, may force us to sacrifice that very peace we treasure at the altar of expediency, with obvious results of continued discord and lack of progress in our pursuit of our common good. It is morally unacceptable to allow certain trends to go on while we remain watching and waiting from our comfort zones.
The Lusaka High Court has convicted suspended Eastern Province PF Youth Chairperson Emmanuel Banda, commonly known as JJ, and 3 others. This is after they all pleaded guilty to a charge of disorderly conduct in a police station. The court has also convicted their co-accused Maxwell Pito after he equally pleaded guilty to a charge of assault. This was after the state amended the initial charge of aggravated assault to disorderly conduct in a police station and another charge of assault when the case came up for commencement of trial. Particulars of the offense are that Banda and 3 others on July 6th this year in Lusaka did act in an indecent, disorderly and insulting manner whilst at the Lusaka Central Police Station. In count 2, Pito 20 on the same date assaulted police officer Alan Mbawe at Lusaka Central Police Station. The matter has since been adjourned to 12 November 2020 for sentencing.
Emmanuel Banda, a Patriotic Front PF cadre, firstly accused of assaulting a police officer, now awaits for his sentencing after pleading guilty to the offense of disorderly conduct in a police station. The country has recently witnessed how Banda's charges have been dropping from aggravated robbery to aggravated assault, now disorderly conduct in a police station. On the 5th of November 2020, the suspended Eastern Province Youth Chairperson, commonly known as JJ, together with his co-accused, pleaded not guilty to the offense of allegedly assaulting a police officer. However, this afternoon, when the 5 PF cadres appeared before court, the state amended the initial charge of aggravated assault to disorderly conduct in a police station and another charge of assault when the case came up for commencement of trial. Banda has been jointly charged with a disorderly conduct in a police station with John Lungu, Moses Silionde, and Leopold Perry. According to the fact, the now convict on the 6th of July 2020 went to Lusaka Central Police Station and acted in an indecent, disorderly and insulting manner. In count 2, Maxwell Pito on the said date assaulted police officer Alan Bauer at Lusaka Central Police Station. Facts before court are that Banda on the said date requested to meet Mbawe, who is a police officer in charge of the anti-motor vehicle theft unit, whom he had known for quite some time. The purpose of their meeting was for Banda to express his sadness concerning the death of his young cousin William Tembo, who was at the time of his death working for him at his garage. Tembo was allegedly killed by police officers from Mbawe's unit in the course of his arrest a few days earlier. Banda, who was at the time in the company of the accused persons and other unknown persons, arrived at Lusaka Central Police Station and met Mbawe at the reception area of the police station. Mbawe requested that Banda goes with him to his office, but the convict became emotionally unruly and aggressive and began shouting, "Kill me the way you killed my relative." In effort to calm Banda down, Mbawe approached him. As he got closer to him, Pitu attacked Mbawe with a slap and kicks. Wallace Lungu, Silonde, and Piri became unruly and disorderly. Lungu, Pitu, and Silonde indicated that they thought Banda was about to be kicked by Mbawe, hence their reaction. Whilst this was happening, the police officers in other offices quickly came to the aid of Mbawe and apprehended Lungu, Pitu, Silonde, and Piri. However, Banda managed to escape. Judge Wilfred Muma convicted them of the charge after they admitted committing the offense. Their lawyer pleaded with the court to impose a fine on the convict than a custodian sentence. With regard to Pitu, the lawyer told court that the convict was equally remorse of his action and wanted to reconcile with the complainant. The matter has since been adjourned to the 12th of November 2020 for their sentencing. Miriam Kemba, reporting for Camnet TV News in Lusaka.
Lusaka Magistrate Felix Kauma has ruled that the case involving a Lusaka lawyer who sued her ex-lover for unlawfully and negligently doing acts likely to spread a sexually transmitted disease after he had unprotected sexual intercourse with her be heard in an open court. This was after lawyers representing the accused, Mr. Kelvin Milambo, submitted that the case is a criminal matter which concerns the people of Zambia, and as it clearly states the people versus the accused. Earlier, the complainant, Ms. Naomi Sitole, who is representing herself, submitted to the court that the courtroom must be cleared from the media, as last week when her story was published, she was painted black like she is the accused. However, Magistrate Kauma ruled that the court proceeding to hearing the matter in an open court with the presence of media. Ms. Naomi Sitole, who is an assistant researcher to the Lusaka High Court judge, has sued Mr. Kelvin Milambo in the Lusaka Magistrate Court after she saw the defendant's WhatsApp chat with his ex-wife in which she was telling him about her antiretroviral therapy. The matter has since been adjourned to the 8th of December 2020 for trial. Golden Party of Zambia, GPZ, is disappointed at the reported abuse and misapplication of funds donated by various stakeholders for the sole purpose of fighting the COVID-19 pandemic. Party President Jackson Silabwe notes that the Interim Auditor General's report on the utilization of COVID-19 funds revealed that 1.3 billion kwacha was donated by various stakeholders, which the controlling officers from the Ministry of Health and the line ministries have not accounted for. Mr. Silabwe says these unfortunate revelations have come at a time when frontline workers and the Ministry of Health have not been paid their allowances to date. Meanwhile, Mr. Silabwe is calling on relevant authorities such as the Anti-Corruption Commission of Zambia to look into the matter and allow the law to prevail.
As Golden Party of Zambia, we're extremely concerned. In fact, we are very worried about the alleged misapplication of COVID-19 funds, as revealed by the Auditor General's report on the utilization of the resources that were donated. We have been told, the report has revealed, that 1.3 billion kwacha has not been accounted for by the Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Health, and indeed other line ministries. That is a source of concern, especially that a lot of COVID workers have not been paid their allowances for being the frontline workers. So really, for us, we're extremely worried. And we are appealing to the Anti-Corruption Commission that can they take a keen interest in this matter. This is what makes stakeholders and indeed the cooperating partners to withdraw funding or to request for refunds of their monies, because there is no proper accountability. We are urging the Minister of Health, Dr. Chilufya, not taking away the leadership he has provided through the COVID fight, through the COVID battles. It has got nothing to do with this. What we are asking for is accountability. Can we be accountable to the people of Zambia on how their resources, the resources that have been donated, are utilized?
We take a break and return with our international and sports news. Do stay with us.
And why do you look so pale and busy scratching yourself?
Well, Amwandi, you know my skin is very sensitive. I've tried all the skin products and nothing seems to work.
Have you tried Oracle Pure Glycerin?
Oracle Pure Glycerin? What's that?
Just give me a minute.
Oracle Pure Glycerin gives your skin a youthful and healthy glow.
Ish, you're glowing. Don't tell me.
Yes!
I already know the secrets.
Oracle Pure Glycerin!
Try Oracle Pure Glycerin for that perfect skin.
Stay home, stay safe. Times have changed. With the advent of the coronavirus, Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation Company would like to advise its esteemed customers to avoid visiting crowded places. You don't have to move to pay your water bill. You can do it in the convenience of your home. You can pay your water bills through Zanako Zapit, Stanbic Bank, Standard Chartered Bank, and FNB. You can also use Airtel, MTN, and Zamtel Kwacha mobile money transfer services. For any inquiries to report a fault, please contact our customer service on +260 211 251 571, +260 975 618 618, and toll-free line 5957, Zamtel only. You can also simply email customer service @lwsc.com. This public announcement is brought to you by the Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation Company. Water is life. Sanitation is health.
Join Pastor Victoria and Moses Chilua, the Healing Word Ministries International.
Starting on the 3rd to 6th December 2020.
Dr. Francis Miles from the USA returns to Zambia for a conference on issuing restraining orders.
Because you see, God responds to your revelation. So if you approach God as the healer, He heals you. If you approach Him as your shepherd, He will touch your soul. But if you approach Him judicially, He will show you He's the cause.
Venue, the Healing Word Ministries International in Ibex Hill. Time,
17 hours to 19 hours from Thursday to Saturday.
And on Sunday from 09 hours to 11 hours. For more details, call +260 962 965 883. You do not want to miss this conference this time.
Welcome back. In our international news stories, the United Nations has called on Mozambique to investigate reports that an armed group murdered villagers and beheaded women and children in a violence-racked northern region. As many as 50 people have died in recent days in attacks by fights linked to the local media has reported. Violence has surged this year in Cabo Delgado, a province that borders Tanzania and is a site for multi-billion-dollar natural gas project, alarming government across southern Africa. UN Secretary General called for an investigation in a statement late on Tuesday. The Secretary General is shocked over the recent reports of massacres by non-state armed groups in several villages, including the reported beheading and kidnapping of women and children, his spokesman said. There was no immediate response from the government. Al Jazeera now gives us more.
For 3 years, people living in parts of northern Mozambique have lived with violence, death and destruction. Attacks in Cabo Delgado province have rapidly gathered pace this year, with fighters seizing towns for brief periods and increasingly hitting military or other important targets. The government says local fighters affiliated to ISIL are responsible. Leaders from Southern Africa are meeting on Monday to decide what the region can and should do to help Mozambique's army.
There has been a lot of issues on the capabilities of the Mozambican military, from the strength and from the military intelligence side of things. And this is the historical, right? The Mozambican military has not really been able to thwart any insurgents from the Renamo Civil War alone.
Mozambique's president, Filipe Nyusi, visited the area and promised to do more to help people affected by the violence. There is speculation some southern African leaders could send in troops to help Mozambique's army. It's happened before in the Democratic Republic of Congo, Lesotho and Mozambique, back when fighters from the group Renamo were raiding towns and villages in Gorongosa.
It doesn't have that strong a military, and in any event it is coming from a process and period in which it was already undergoing military civil war. And again, there was international assistance to either come to a peace agreement with the former Renamo military movement, as well as to try and integrate the armies within Mozambique. So it's a very fragile sort of military framework that Mozambique has at the moment.
Southern African leaders are under pressure to come up with a plan to help. In May, some regional leaders met here in Harare to decide what to do about the unrest in Mozambique. But after hours of talks, the meeting ended without any concrete agreement. Many people have died, thousands have been displaced by the violence, which seems to be getting worse. Northern Mozambique is rich in natural gas. Some projects are believed to be worth more than $60 billion. Analysts say that could be one reason fueling the violence. There are concerns attacks by armed groups could spill over into neighboring countries. That's already been seen in other parts of the continent, such as the Western Sahel region and the Horn of Africa.
We now take a look at what we have in our sports news. And in our sports news stories, Chipolopolo coach Milutin Micho-Sredojevic is confident of restoring Zambia's lost glory as the Chipolopolo boys take on Botswana in the Cameroon 2021 Africa Cup of Nations H qualifier. Micho says, who opted not to underrate the Zebras, is relying on his players for the love of the game, honoring the funds. Meanwhile, Botswana first assistant coach Dr. Caroline Brown says the team is ready for tomorrow's encounter. The duo was speaking during a post-match media briefing, and he hopes that the lads will give out their best. However, the match will be played behind closed doors following the communication from the Confederation of African Football. FAZ has engaged CAF after receiving clearance from the Ministry of Health to trigger the process of bringing the fans into the stadium for the Crunch Africa Cup of Nations qualifier, but the request has been denied. CAF has communicated that the request to host the match with fans was not successful. Meanwhile, Zambia international ENOCK MWEPU has arrived in the country for the match. MWEPU arrived in the country this afternoon.
I have been branded as a complete idiot by a set of my friends all over Africa when they told me, why are you going to Zambia? Those people have lost both matches. They have 0 points, 1 scored, 7 conceded. But I have personally believed, and I will die with belief, in Zambian football players, Zambian football, Zambian coaches, Zambian stakeholders where even you are belonging. And we have worked very hard, we have gone long road. If you remember what we have done since February, it is a set of actions and activities that all of them are leading towards match tomorrow. And to not speak about times behind us, I would rather speak and say that we are at present, I want to call it double operation. Operation to reclaim the pride of footballing nation like Zambia is, and operation of saving the face of a nation, because the situation in which we are is unacceptable.
We're all very much aware that Zambia has a lot of international experience, a lot of players with huge experience. So we did our homework and we analyzed the team, and we know how good they are and how they are playing. But still, it's football. So we are prepared for Zambia, but we are very well aware of the quality of Zambia, and we are aware that they haven't got, or they want definitely to win the game, but we'll see it on the pitch. And yeah.
First of all, I'm happy that I've traveled safely, thank God. And yeah, I'm here, so I'm motivated and looking forward for tomorrow's game. I'm proud to represent Zambia at this level, and I'm really motivated looking at what I've achieved so far at the club level, and going in tomorrow's game. We know we have lost points in these previous 2 games, and tomorrow is a must-win game. So I just pray that we give our best. Everybody should be ready for it, and we just play according to what Mitchell wants, and I think we're gonna win the game tomorrow. I think since the guys that were together for quite some time, which is also good, at least they can coordinate, they can talk, they can communicate in the game. For me, playing at a high level, and it's easy to just chill in the team and know what I'm supposed to do, so I feel like the impact won't be different, and it's good that they had these friendly games to put them at that level to compete in this game. So I feel everybody's ready, and I'm ready too. So we're gonna play as a team and do what we can do best for the people of Zambia.
All the best, the Chipolopolo team. Still in sports news, the government has finally allowed fans to return to the terraces of league matches after months of freezing them out. Sports Minister Emmanuel Molenga made the revelation during a media briefing that was also attended by FAS Secretary Adrian Kashala. Clubs have been advised to strictly adhere to COVID-19 protocols.
Had an engagement between ourselves as Ministry of Youth, Sport and Child Development, as well as the Ministry of Health and FAS. Of course, Sports Council of Zambia has been part of these meetings. We have come up with guidelines which should be followed by FAS so that we allow fans to go back to the stadium. You know that football is the #1 sport in this country, and almost everyone loves football and they love watching football. So as government, we scrutinized the submission by FAS that we allow fans to go to the stadium, and we submitted those suggestions to Ministry of Health, and Ministry of Health has come up with guidelines which needs to be followed by FAS. And we are happy to tell the fans that we have allowed them to go back to the stadium and to watch the game which they love so much, which is close to their heart. And just an appeal to FAS as well as clubs. Our appeal is that they should adhere to health regulations which have been put in place. They should make sure that stadiums don't become a breeding ground for COVID-19 or transmission of the COVID-19 between the spectators. They should make sure that each spectator is protected from contracting the COVID-19.
First and foremost, allow me to thank the government through the Ministry of Youth and Sport for opening doors for the fans to get back to the stadium. We are most grateful that our appeal has been paid and of course the authority granted. However, I wish to state that yesterday we received communication from CAF to an extent that they would not allow soccer fans at tomorrow's encounter against Botswana, and if we did, we're going to be sanctioned seriously. And to that effect, we'd like to urge our soccer fans that tomorrow's game will be played behind closed doors and would not allow soccer fans. However, we allow soccer fans during our local league games.
We have come to the end of the news, but before we go, a recap of the headlines. Catholic Church worried with signs of diminishing peace in Zambia. Court orders that a sexual case involving a Lusaka lawyer be heard in open court as complainant seeks no media presence. Zambia's creditors voting to either defer her loans or not as deadline ends today. And in an international news, UN urges Mozambique to investigate murder beheadings. And in sports, ENOCK MWEPU arrives for for Zebra's Cameroon 2021 Africa Cup qualifier match. Our Camnet word verse of the day is coming from the book of 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 7, and it reads, "Cast all your anxieties on him because he cares for you." Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Banda Tandiwe. Pleasant viewing.